Okay, if you clicked this video, you may have already watched my previous video where I explained to you why I haven't been on YouTube in a while, and the most beautiful reason that you can think of for not being on YouTube, which is that I'm currently expecting my first baby. And I mentioned in that video that I was going to do a pregnancy video, just kind of just want to talk about anything. So first off, I'm going to tell you how because actually you guys don't know us, but we're sort of that couple that everybody was like, yeah, they're never gonna have kids, they always travel. Me and my husband, we travel a lot. We've been together for 12 years. And in those 12 years, we have just traveled so much. He was a travel agent in his job when we met, so that gave us an advantage. And yeah, we just loved it. It was like we discovered this whole world, literally. So our focus, when all of our friends and people we knew were having babies, our focus was travel as much as we can. So we did, and I don't think anybody was ever expecting us to still have kids. But yeah, it's also because of our age. I'm not the youngest chicken in the... How do you say that? Like, I'm not a spring chicken? Is that the expression? I'm currently 36, but in 2 days I will be 37. So I will be having my baby at 37. And my husband is currently 43, and he will be 44 when the baby arrives. The baby is due in July, so it will be a summer baby. And so yeah, that's not, I'm not saying we're ancient, but you know, it's a little bit older than usual to still start having babies. But there were certain things going on in my head that, even though for years I was like, no, I don't want to have kids. I love my life. I love traveling. I love my freedom. It's just a no for me. Certain things made me reconsider. So one, the age. I did realize when I was 35 that, you know, it's really easy to say that you don't want to have kids as long as you can still change your mind. But at 35, I was like, if we only start to think about it now, and then we have to start trying, and then, you know, I'm just gonna say it, but you can always have a miscarriage, and then it takes a little while longer before you can try again. And then you have to be pregnant for 9 months. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be, 37 at the earliest if I wanna have kids. Even though I've always not wanted to have kids. But just realizing that my time is running out, and I'm being a little bit over dramatic, because of course you can still, most women can still have kids in their late 30s or even early 40s. It happens all the time. So I'm not saying that, you know, the clock was ticking that much, but I didn't know. I've never been pregnant. I've never had an accidental pregnancy or anything. So I didn't even know if I was even able to have kids, because, you know, I was just thinking, what if we do decide to have kids and it turns out we try for about a year and it doesn't work, and then we have to go through IVF treatments and everything. And I was just like, before you know it, I will be in my late 30s. So that kind of scared me at the time. And that's when I started to think, okay, I feel that I have to make sort of a definite decision, sort of now or never. Not now, like exactly now. I gave myself some time to think about it, but I discussed it with my husband, and to my surprise, he was actually like, yeah, I'm kind of open to the idea as well. And I was like, yeah, me too. Like, what's going on? Because we never wanted it, but also with getting older, your priorities sort of change. And he has been a party animal for most of his life, even up till he was like 40, 42. And he just said, you know, I'm starting to make this shift about what I think is really important in my life and how I want my future to look like. I don't just want to party and go to beach clubs, and, you know, traveling is great and we still want to do that, but it's not like our main mission in life anymore. So we were on the same, you know, we kind of felt the same. And so we were like, okay, let's just keep it in the back of our heads, think about it. Obviously, we're not gonna make like an impulse decision on something as important as having a baby, but yeah, it was in the back of our minds. We thought about it a lot, and then after I think it was about a year, we just decided to go for it and to just start trying. And once I actually made the decision, like, okay, we're gonna do it, I wanted nothing more in the world. Like, the decision was made. I also realized that it wasn't just that I never wanted kids, I was just too scared to have kids. I was too scared to lose my freedom. Also, I grew up in a household where we didn't really get the impression that having kids is fun. And that's I mean, my mother did the best she could. She was a single mother. My father was absent. He was just never around, so it was really, really hard on my mother. And we sort of always felt that, me and my sister, that, you know, it didn't really seem like something that could make you happy. I know that sounds weird to a lot of people, but we were just like, yeah, we saw what it did, like how stressed out it made our mother. And it just didn't seem that appealing to have kids. But I also realized that our life, mine and my husband as our little family, is different than my single mother's life. She also had kids at a very young age, so she never had that freedom, that time to herself. So the situation is completely different. So that was also something that I realized, that maybe I shouldn't be so scared to have kids, you know? And I know that I have a maternal instinct in me. This is gonna sound a little bit weird, but I've always had pets, cats actually. And I know it's not the same. I'm not saying having cats is the same as having babies, but I really feel so much love for the cats. And some of you aren't gonna agree with me, but I do feel like it's the same maternal instinct that you feel with a pet if you don't have actual kids. I think it's that, you know, it might not be as intense as you would feel it with your own child, but I do think it's the same maternal instinct that you get that makes you love your pets so much. And I love taking care of them. You know, so I know it's completely different, but I do feel like I really have a maternal instinct, and my husband definitely has a father instinct. I don't know how to say it, but he's great. I think he's gonna be an amazing father. He's also like finally ready to make certain sacrifices in life, because I think that's just something that you cannot avoid. Some things are gonna be harder than they are now that we're just the two of us, two adults. Some things are gonna be challenging. Sometimes we're gonna be stressed, tired. It's not always going to be super fun, but he's like not scared of that anymore either. He's like, you know what? I have a bigger mission in life, and he wants to pass. He also wants to pass on his life experience. He wants to, let's say he really wants to sort of put his own needs aside in order to take care of someone else. Like that's what drives him now. That's really what he wants to do. So I think that's great. And yeah, so those are a few reasons that we kind of started to think about it and in the end went for it. Now, it took us around, I kind of forgot, but I think it's 7 or maybe even 8 like months to try. So it wasn't that quick, but actually I did get pregnant after the 3rd try, but unfortunately it was a very early miscarriage. I believe it's called a chemical. So pretty much around the time you get you should normally get your period is when I did get a period. But it wasn't a period because before I got the period, I already tested with very early pregnancy detection tests. It was definitely positive. I had blood drawn. It was positive, but the HCG, like the pregnancy hormone that they can find in your blood, was very low. And even the moment when I took the pregnancy tests before I was supposed to get my period, the line was so thin, and I knew it was early, but I kind of just felt like it's technically a pregnancy, but it's not gonna last. I can just feel it. And I was right. I lost that baby, to me, it wasn't a baby just yet. I lost that pregnancy, let's say. So I was sad, but my husband was like, hey, it means that a conception happened. So chemicals happen all the time. Especially I'm older than 35, so there's nothing weird or worrisome about it. It's just something that nature, it just happens all the time. So it was actually more good news that we now knew, okay, conception is definitely possible. I am ovulating. So I'm ovulating. His sperm seems to be okay because there was a conception, but it was just not that one. Something may have been wrong or whatever. So we just kept trying, and then I got pregnant. I think I know the exact, well, not the exact date, but I got pregnant around 25, somewhere between 25 and 30th of October. And I've been pregnant now. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but I've been pregnant now for 25 weeks. In 2 days, I will be 26 weeks. And if you're like, yeah, the weeks don't really say anything, that's roughly 5 months or 5 months and a half, something like that. So there's still a little while to go, but yeah, we're doing great. Obviously, I've had several checkups already, and the baby is doing really well. Oh, and also, we know the gender. We wanted to know the gender before giving birth, but we kind of found out the gender accidentally because it's a long story, but I will keep it super short. So my NIPT, the test where they check your blood to see if, there aren't any chromosomal errors like Down syndrome and stuff. I had that test taken. The gender was mentioned in the test, but I kind of wanted to check the other factors, like is the baby healthy? And I didn't want to open the document because I thought the gender was mentioned in the document as well. So my husband was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call your doctor and ask if the gender is mentioned in the document or not. Because if it's not mentioned, we can just open the document and just see that, if the health of the baby is fine. So we called, the doctor said, yeah, I have the document right here. There's no gender mentioned, so don't worry. And I was like, okay, great. So I opened it, and what do you know? The gender was mentioned. So I don't know what happened there. My doctor said, like, I swear I didn't see it. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I saw at that time that we're having a baby boy. Which was something that we had never expected. We were always, for some reason, you know that you can have a boy or a girl, but for some reason we were always convinced it was a girl. I don't know why. We have two girl cats, and we always call them our girls, the girls. So maybe that's why we thought we were having a girl. I don't know, but we're not. We're having a beautiful, healthy little baby boy. I bought so many cute boy outfits already. I cannot wait to put them on his little tushy and his little body. But I'm not gonna lie, it did take me a little while to get used to the idea of having a boy. And in all honesty, I had a little bit, and I know a lot of women don't think it's okay, but I'm going to be honest, and I think it's just something that we're allowed to talk about. But I did have a little bit of gender disappointment. Luckily, it only lasted 2 days, but at first I was excited, like, oh my god, it's a boy, especially because I didn't think I would find out the gender, and then suddenly it was like right there in front of my face, like, oh, male fetus. I'm like, oh, now I know the gender. We weren't supposed to know. But I was actually happy. And then the day after, I sort of realized that, oh, that means we're not having a girl. And I know it seems like that's the same thing, but it's really not. It's not that we or I didn't want to have a boy. That was never the case. But I just realized, oh, but if it's a boy, that means it's that we're not having a girl. And I kind of always wanted to have a girl. And so did my husband. My husband, even more than me, always wanted to have a girl. And then I was sort of grieving the girl that I wasn't having. So for 2 days I was sad about the gender. And then we talked about it a lot. And the thing is, I still want to have a girl, but I also want to have 2 kids, which means I can still have a girl like in my second pregnancy. So there's still an option of having a girl. So there's really nothing to worry about. And for now, I'm just, after a while, I mean, you know, at first it's so little, you know, I found out the gender at 12 weeks. But once you see those, you know, the little body, and I can feel him moving all the time, and it's just, it became more real, like there's an actual little boy on the way. It made me fall so in love with, I'm gonna cry. It made me fall so in love with him. And now I feel guilty about having gender disappointment. So if my son ever watches this, honey, I love you. So yeah, but the dream of having a girl is still there, but it can wait, you know? Let's just focus on our little baby boy right now. This is also pregnancy. It's hormones. I haven't been like having a lot of actually, I'm not having mood swings at all. This was just a little emotional outburst, just because I'm so excited to have my baby boy. But I'm not like angry at one time and then super happy the other. Like, I don't really have that. Don't really have cravings. I have a stuffy nose. You may be able to hear that. I've had a stuffy nose ever since the beginning of my pregnancy. It's super annoying, and it's not just stuffy. I have bloody noses as well all the time. Every morning I wake up with just dried up blood in my nose. Super annoying. So yeah, I'm thinking, what else can I talk about? Yeah, in my previous video I already mentioned that first trimester absolutely kicked my ass, and yeah, I thought that was just the worst I've ever felt. I felt physically absolutely horrible. My stomach was just not digesting food like at all. Anything I ate, even if it was just something small, it was like a brick on my stomach. It was just, I couldn't drink water, or it was so heavy on my stomach. I thought it was absolutely brutal. I've been in bed day and night, like literally non-stop for I think about 6 weeks. My nausea already started at 4 weeks and a half pregnant, which is early. Yeah, the next 6 weeks. And my battery died. So I don't know exactly what I was saying. I think I was talking about being so nauseous in bed for 6 weeks, not being able to eat. No, I don't remember what I was saying. That's also another thing. The pregnancy brain is real. I kind of forget things quickly. Gosh, what was I saying? I'm sorry, I don't remember. Yeah, I think about the nausea, not being able to eat. So I didn't leave my bed. My husband was absolutely amazing. He did everything he could to help me. He saw how miserable I was. The only two things that I could eat during my first trimester was cut up pieces of apple. Those were okay. So I ate so many apples in those weeks because it was pretty much the only thing I could eat. And then after, let's say the first, like the first 3 or 4 weeks of the nausea, I started to eat bread. So just sandwiches with a little bit of cheese, or some what do you call it? Like this, the Laughing Cow, like the salty cream cheese. That was okay too. I took little bites and then I switched it with the apple pieces, and those worked. But I did lose weight in that first trimester because I just was unable to eat. Drinking was even worse. I drank like a sports drink, like Aquarius, but I think if you're from the States, it's called Gatorade or something. I don't know what it's called, but like the sporty drinks that have the sugars and salts to keep you hydrated. I drank those, which I don't like to drink at all, not only during pregnancy, but I just don't like the taste of those types of drinks. But everything tasted absolutely horrible, so you know, might as well drink something to keep my electrolytes a little bit in balance, even though I was definitely dehydrated all throughout the first trimester. I'm still a little dehydrated because fluids are still a little bit tricky, but not nearly as tricky as they were in the first trimester. But for instance, like I can't just drink a big glass of water now because it's really heavy on my stomach. So I do sip fluids now during the day, but sometimes when I'm not paying attention and I drink it a little bit too fast, because I am constantly thirsty because I'm not able to drink enough, and I drink a little bit too fast, it still sits pretty heavy on my stomach. So if you were to ask me, like, what is the one thing that you've had the most trouble with so far during your pregnancy, it is definitely my stomach. My stomach, just the digestion has gone you know, it became so slow. Food and fluids just lay in that stomach for such a long time. I can eat now, so that is not really a problem anymore. Only in the mornings I still have to take it slow, and it can take a few hours before I'm like, before my digestion is awake. But yeah, the first trimester was absolutely horrible. I threw up every morning, no exception. It was just like I opened my eyes and I ran to the bathroom and just hurled. There was nothing in my stomach in the morning, so I was just like making the most unattractive hurling noises ever. I think the neighbors even heard. It was so loud. It was absolutely awful. I think it was my husband's new alarm clock. Just me hurling, throwing up, well, throwing nothing up, but the sounds were there. My stomach just cramping, like really trying to get something out that wasn't even in there. Yeah, awful. And that actually lasted till 18 weeks, because since we hit that 12-week mark, I was like, okay, you know, any day now, the nausea can stop, the throwing up can stop. And it didn't. And yeah, from 18 weeks it definitely stopped, and I've been feeling pretty, you know, for the most part I've been feeling normal again. Of course my body is changing a lot. That makes sense, you know, that just happens when you're pregnant. But I am gaining a little bit more weight than I thought I would. So right now I'm 25 weeks pregnant, and I've already gained like over 8 kilos. In pounds, I think it's around 16 pounds. I'm not sure. I'm not really good with the American pounds, but yeah, I do notice that the body changes are, you know, they're affecting me more than I thought they would. I thought I would feel cute with a little baby bump, and I do, but it's not just the bump. It's like my boobs have grown. I feel like they've doubled in size. Sorry if this is TMI, but my nipples are absolutely massive, and they're super dark. Like they really look like breasts with nipples that are ready to breastfeed. I didn't know that they could look so different, but they do. And that's okay, it doesn't matter. But every time I want to take a bath or a shower and I get undressed and I look in the mirror, it is a little like, who am I looking at? It's a body that I don't recognize. But of course, it doesn't matter. It's all just temporary, and you know, all that matters is that I'm having a healthy baby, and just, you know, I know that, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm already thinking about when he's here. Obviously the main thing that I'm thinking about is having him, meeting him, giving him kisses, taking care of him, all of that. But I'm also thinking about, oh, I'm gonna have, not instantly, I know it takes a while to have your old body back and it's fine, but I'm not gonna have like the heavy stomach anymore, the really protruding belly. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm having some cramping now actually in my lower back. So all of those things, even though your body doesn't just bounce back, I'm not expecting it to, but I will be sort of relieved to not be pregnant anymore. So having said that, I'm so excited about expecting a baby. That is absolutely the case. So in that way, I love that I'm pregnant. I love that I'm having a baby, that I'm expecting a baby. But the actual physical state of pregnancy is honestly not something that I'm really enjoying. Like I said, it's fine now, but sorry, I'm just checking how long the video is. It's fine now. I'm feeling relatively good. I have better days. I have days where I'm super tired. I get crampings, I get heavy stomachs, but not always, just sometimes. It's very unpredictable. So it's, you know, it could be a lot worse. But yeah, do I love being pregnant? No. But do I love expecting a baby? Yes, absolutely I am. So I am on cloud number 9, even though physically I'm not feeling that great. I'm thinking what else I can talk about. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. I will do my best to answer all of your questions. Oh, and I had my sugar, I don't know in English how to say it, but here it's called a sugar test to see if you have gestational diabetes. And unfortunately, my test was bad, so it was too high. I was supposed to have 130. I don't know what it is exactly, but the limit was 130 and I had 162. So I'm a little worried about that. I'm now getting a second, more thorough sugar test that will definitively say if I have gestational diabetes or not. I know that there's still a perfect chance that that one is okay. So obviously I'm hoping that will be the case. But I'm also already preparing a little bit for if it's not a positive, if you know, if that test is bad as well, because then I will really have to yeah, mind what I eat and just be careful with carbs and fruits and all of those things. I don't eat a lot of candy or anything. I don't eat cookies, candy, ice cream, cake, none of that. I do eat quite a lot of carbs. I eat bread, like several slices of bread every day, even though it's whole wheat bread. And I eat pastas and potatoes, and I just really noticed that even though I don't really have cravings, I do notice that because I'm so tired, I do crave carb foods. I eat very healthy though. I eat a lot of fruit. I eat at least like 3 pieces of fruit per day. I know you could think that's a lot of sugar, but I don't know. I always think it's just vitamins and fiber, and yeah, it has sugar as well, but I probably have to eat a little bit less fruit if it turns out I have the diabetes. But I just, you know, when I'm tired, I just feel like I have to eat something carby. And I'm a little scared that I'm not going to be able to do that anymore, that maybe I'm going to be just tired all the time. But yeah, we'll see. I'll just have to wait for the results of the second test, so there's no reason to panic yet. Other than that, baby boy is doing just fine. He's growing really well. He's kicking a lot. He's moving around all the time in my belly. I was taking a bath the other day and I was taking a bath and I just always when I'm in the bath he moves around a lot, and I really saw my stomach physically like bump like that, which I thought was very fun to see. I actually made a video. Maybe I'm gonna show it, maybe not, but my husband now, if he puts his hands on my stomach, he can feel the kicks. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. We have a name already, but I'm not gonna share that just yet. That's a surprise for when he's born, but we are set on the name, even though boy names are so hard. I have like 10 girl names on my list, but boy names were really difficult. But I'm loving the one that we chose, and so does he, so we're feeling good about that. And so yeah, he's due on July 18th. I wouldn't mind if he came just 1 week earlier. I don't want to hope for an early delivery because obviously I want the baby to be fully grown and developed and everything, so don't get me wrong, but just 1 week earlier, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And also, I'm really hoping for a natural delivery. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. So I think I'm going to give a pregnancy update, yeah, somewhere in the 3rd trimester, just to see if there are any developments. And also, I already mentioned this in my previous video, but I am thinking of making some new fragrance related videos as well. I don't have any like actual plans just yet, but I do have 2 ideas of fragrance videos. One is I've organized my entire collection into 6 categories of fragrances. And I was just thinking of going through all of them, all the categories and the fragrances per category, just talking about them. And then the second idea that I had was to make a Jo Malone fragrance review video, because I'm just in a Jo Malone phase right now. That's because of the sunny weather. We're having amazing weather now, and it makes me want to wear light, airy, floral fragrances. So, but I don't have any idea of when I'm gonna do it. I have to have a day where my energy is good and I have the time. So yeah, we'll see. If you see it on my channel, then I found some time and energy, and if not, then I'm still working on it. But yeah, I think that's about it for this video. If you have some more questions, again, don't be shy. I can take it. Nothing is too private or anything. You can ask me anything you want. But to conclude, we're having a baby boy in July. It's our first baby, and we couldn't be more happy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for the